Hello and welcome back. I'm Anna Delman, and today I have a challenge. My little note says, are you a no manipulation zone? Are you easily manipulated? I've struggled with that much in my life, and it comes down to, I think, one thing: the need for approval. We want other people to affirm us that we're doing the right thing. We want them to approve of us, and even beyond just one-on-one with them, we want them to project us to be acceptable and approved of in a community. And when we do that, it proves that we are insecure. And often we do that when there's been like a little dilemma, something that is uncomfortable that we are dealing with a person one-on-one that will affect a community. And when this occurs, it really shows that we are lacking in discernment, because the person who's manipulating us, it's usually done when something needs to change. They want you to change your position on something, and you're a little ambivalent in that moment, and you allow yourself to be persuaded. Friends, that's not the correct response. Of course, if you having it and you made the wrong decision to start with, but when you know the decisions you've made are firm, and primarily they've been honoring of God, and that is your ultimate reason for doing the work that you're doing. When that happens, you need to stay firm with your decision and what you're doing. You should not allow yourself to be distracted and manipulated by somebody else. So it goes to show that we needed more information. We were manipulated because we didn't have the discernment needed to consider the person trying to manipulate us correctly and why they were doing it. Two different things: the person and the reason. Yes, the reason stems from who the person is, but they have their opinion and their reasons, and then it is influenced by more than what we are seeing. So we have to understand both of those things. We can all be a manipulation-free zone, and this is how you do it. We've been through a quick aerial view of the book of Proverbs. Really, that's all we did in July, was an aerial view. There's so much greater depth to it. But we need to grow in our discernment, as I've already mentioned. So how do you grow in your discernment? Knowledge. You need to know that person. You need to know the place and the thing that is forming the disagreement, and which they're trying to manipulate you to view differently or change mutually agreed upon criteria. We need to separate the information we have in the past, in the present, and what it will look like tomorrow. We need to divide that out and do it well. What is our perception of that person, of who they're representing, and what is our perception of the work we're doing and our commitments made? What does that all look like? Do we have all the information to stabilize ourselves in our opinion and in our unwavering response, and the reason why we will not be manipulated? Do we understand it all? Do we truly understand the people, the place, the thing, all of it? Have we spent enough time getting to know the players so that we can make the wise decision? We need to consider all the details, the nuances, the nitty-gritty, not just a casual observation, but truly know the players involved. That way you will know that the person who is trying to manipulate you, why are they so steadfast, or why have they chosen to take that path after agreements they've made? What is it with those people around them that are unwavering in whatever decisions they've made, that they're trying to enforce a change? Do you know enough about the details and the nuances in all of that? So important to know that, to be a manipulation-free zone, to become that. When we've had all of that understanding, we need wisdom and how to apply wisdom to the situation. That means a skilled response, and we get to skilled wisdom when we've applied the skills of knowledge and understanding what I've already described. We need to apply that wisdom out of fear and reverence, not negative fear, but fear as in awe of the greater criteria and making it go wrong that should keep us centered to our obligations and commitment. And what is that foundation based on? We always need to look for that. How are we going to apply our wise understanding to the nuances in that structure that I have mentioned before? And how are we going to choose to address those differences? All of this is so important to be applying the wisdom. Sometimes we can practice all of that, and we can do it well and skilled, and we can try the best we humanly can, and even having done so prayerfully, and it fails. So what do you do when all of that loving care and commitment, which has gone into your knowledge, your understanding, and your wisdom, fails miserably? When it foils the attempt at manipulation, it doesn't get you any ground. Not that trying to establish ground and in like a 2 paces forward, 3 paces back. No, when nothing you have done is resonating with that person and beyond that person. You need to be weary, folks. You need to be wondering what is going to come back at you. The response to a manipulator, they are going to get angry with you because it reveals something negative about them. They will be angry with you. Be careful, because when people are angry and they have nowhere to vent that anger or nowhere to diffuse it or break it, other than you, the one who in their mind is causing it, rather than they the ones who caused it by being a manipulator, rather than being honoring of what they should be commending. So with anger, they're going to get frustrated with you and what you refused to be manipulated because of. And when they start doing that, they're going to grow in resentment, which will evolve into hate. And then rather than dealing with their own psyche, they will then require gaslighting to break down the reason for their wanting to manipulate you. Be very careful. So how do you, if this is your reality, how do you respond to it? We know that if we don't deal with it correctly within ourselves, it's going to fester and brew and break us down. And this kind of difficult relational difficulty can go on for years and years and years. So considering how to respond to it correctly is so important. You may never find a horizontal reuniting with those kinds of people, and that is going to be something that will be heartbreaking to you, because what you represent is unity and caring and commitment. But you cannot lie, and you cannot break with what you know is true and honoring of God, who observes it all, to be seen as a peacemaker. That's not true peace. If you're not going to have peace with God, you're not going to have peace with those people around you. So first and foremost, friends, make sure your vertical attitude, your vertical understanding that's between you and God is correct. That you're not in sin in the reasons you stood fast and weren't allowing yourself to be manipulated. Make sure that you weren't wrong in your communications. That's honoring your vertical relationship, and make sure that you are forgiven and understand what that needs in context of that situation. Remember that when you have a cleared relationship with God, it doesn't mean that you're going to have a restored relationship with the community. You can forgive them and get on your way. They will continue to need to gaslight, and I've explained this before, but I'm just reiterating it here again. Allow their attitudes, their falsity, to be like water on a duck's back. Let it flow away from you. You don't own it. You are at peace with God, who you continually go to, whether it be for a day, a week, a month, a year, or 5. You continually go before Him and check your heart attitude. And that they will either continue to feed into their reasons for the stand that they took, although it is not God-honoring, and you know that, you will not have an opportunity to reconcile. Now, folks, the lack of reconciliation does not mean a lack of forgiveness. It's two different things. Ideally in life, when you are forgiven, you want reconciliation. However, you are not biblically called to reconcile with people who were deceptive, lied, gaslit, etc., in order to justify their negative opinion of a person, a place, or a thing. And when this happens, your only choice is to walk on. Keep on walking. Keep your vertical relationship with God clear and honoring, and allow the horizontal to be what it is. You do not own it. It is not yours to fix. Only God in His time can do the work He needs to do. Often this is very isolating to persons who experience that kind of thing. But truly, folks, can we be truly isolated when we know the presence of God and His companionship within us? I don't think so. So until tomorrow, take care, and remember, feed your discernment so that you cannot be manipulated. Bye-bye for now.